general brass and is a wind instrument. A brass instrument is defined as an aerophone, which means it's an instrument where the musician must blow air into the instrument. The musician produces the tone by buzzing the lips into what is generally a cup-shaped mouthpiece. Many of the sounds, depending on the pitch of the note, depends on the lip tension and airflow of the player. Slower airflow creates a lower pitch, versus a tight and strong airflow can create a higher pitch. There are countless types and names for different brass instruments. Brass instruments, like all other pitched musical instruments, are dependent on overtone series. Famously studied and analyzed by the Greek philosopher Pythagoras, it basically states that a string or vibrating air column in the case of a brass instrument will tend to vibrate at certain frequencies based on the length of the string or the tube. Which in simpler terms meaning the pitch, tones, and notes that come from an instrument depends on the airflow, length of the tubes, valves, and pressure or lip tension. Brass instruments can date back to Roman and Greek centuries. The earliest known brass instrument we know today is dated back to at least the 1400s. So can anyone answer these two questions and get a prize? Yay! So what is a brass instrument? A brass instrument is an instrument made of brass, made of wood, or made of paper. Yeah, catch. Oh, goodness. Who is Pythagoras? A Roman philosopher, a Greek philosopher, or some kind of mathematical formula that is very complicated? That's right. So an example of a brass instrument is a trumpet. A trumpet is a musical instrument. It has the highest register in the brass family. It is a signal device in battle or hunting. Trumpets have a very long history, dating back to at least 1500 BC. They have been used as musical instruments since the 15th century. So next question here. How far can the trumpet date back to? The 2000s, the 1500s, or the 60s? Joe.
Oh, the 1500s.
Correct.
Yay, the 1500s.
What was it used for? A notification sound for your phone, cooking food, or a signaling device? Therese? C. What is a woodwind instrument? So I'm a pun. Do you play a woodwind instrument? Because you just blew me away. Woodwind instruments are a family of musical instruments within more general category of wind instruments. There are two main types of woodwind instruments, flutes and reed instruments, otherwise called reed pipes. And here are the more likely hundreds, and there are many more names of different woodwind instruments, including like saxophones, oboe, and a lot of names I can't pronounce. So the next question here, name two categories of wood instruments. Flutes and reed instruments, math and science tubes involved. Flutes and reed instruments. And give one example of woodwind instruments.
Don't hate. People are such haters. Why are you such a hater, Claudia?
Sorry. So, as you said, the flute. The oldest flutes are found at least 1,000 years old, and they used to be made of bones. These flutes were used during hunting and magical virtues, which was what they believed in. Later on, flutes are found in which were made of wood or bamboo. All flutes used to have only a few holes. You can hold a flute left or right side, and even some flutes can even hold straight down like a quarter. Until the Middle Ages, century by soldiers. From the 16th century on, the flute developed into the modern flute which we know nowadays. In that time still, the flute was made of one piece and still didn't have many pieces at all. About 1670, the flute became more popular. So, next question here. What was the first material that old flutes were made of? Bone, paper, sulfuric acid. Wait, my bad. Oh my god.
Don't eat, Claudia.
So yeah. Okay. Who were the main people that played the flute? Dogs, cats, hamsters, students, moms and dads, hunters, shepherds, and
Hey, don't hate, Claudia. Don't hate. Dogs, cats, and hamsters.
The next example of a woodwind instrument would be the clarinet. About 2700 BC, the Egyptians created an instrument called the zamira, sometimes referred as the mnemonic. The zamira is a single reed instrument, much like modern-day clarinet, and a double bore like the double-reeded Greek instrument owl. The zamira's two pipes were parallel so that each finger, the player covered two holes, or one on each pipe. The pipes were said to be out of tune with each other and produced a very dissonant beating sound, which sounds pretty horrifying. Invented around 1690, the clarinet is a single-reeded woodwind instrument with a cylindrical tube. The clarinet evolved from an earlier instrument called the chamallow. The first true single-reed instrument, invented by Johann Christoph Denner of Nuremberg. With the help of his son Jacob, they improved the chamallow, creating a new instrument called the clarinet. Next question here. Who and in what year was the first clarinet made? So, A, 2600 BC, the English, B, 2700 BC, the Egyptians, and C, 2700 BC, the Europeans.
Don't hate, Claudia. Don't you dare hate.
Long.
B, the Egyptians. Here you go.
So what was the first version of clarinet? A, Zamira, B, Zumba, or C, Zumba? Who later on improved and formed what is now the clarinet? A, Johann Christoph Denner of Nuremberg, B, Jonathan Christopher Denver of Luxembourg, C, Justin Drew Beaver of Canada. Natalie.
Pronounced Johann Christoph Denner of Nuremberg.
So, yeah.
Another question.